Hi, guys. Welcome back to another The Deciding Factor Extra. I'm John.
And I'm Barb.
And we have a special guest. Barb, who is she?
This is Lisa Pezik. I met her through FunkQuest. She is a much more triumphant funkster than I am. And we've gotten to talk on her podcast, and she's a blast. She's going to make this a great segment.
Now, didn't y'all did that Funk Quest with Phil Palucha, right?
Yes, that was the tag team edition. Yes.
Nice. And they can go back and still see those segments, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Funkythinkers.com.
What did you say, Lisa?
Oh, I said I was the loser on that one. Barb and Phil beat me and my partner Ginger. We were the big L's on that episode.
It's because Phil is also a savant about getting votes. And for some reason, I couldn't get him to rally for me on my last show. I'm like, come on, get your people on board. But nothing.
Well, Lisa, luckily today, we're all going to win. So today we're doing a ThinkFast segment where I will keep points and I will still be the ultimate winner. But y'all can still be a winner as well. So, guys, stay tuned. This will be fun. And make sure you catch all of our other segments that are on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all the other places you can find us. Guys, this is the Deciding Factor Extra.
Bringing you their thoughts on today's news and current events. Coming to you from Austin, Texas, this is the Deciding Factor Extra. With your hosts, Alton Hill and John Herzog.
All right, Barb. So let's do this. Think fast, right?
Think fast, the name of the game today, which is rapid fire questions that don't matter at all that we really want to hear your answers to. For example, what is your favorite hour of the day?
Lisa.
My favorite hour of the day is 10 p.m. I get like this extra, I want to conquer the world at night. I could run a marathon. I could build an empire. I could just take on the whole world, but only till 11. Then I'm tired. Bedtime. It's just literally all or nothing. It's conquer the world, go to sleep. It's a
but you're in Canada, so you can't go running. You get eaten by a bear, right?
Oh, no, I'll freeze to death. Hypothermia. Cold.
That's not a thing.
Running, 11 p.m. snowbank. Out.
Oh, all right, John, what would it be for you? What's your favorite hour of the day?
Man, I do like the nighttime. I would probably say right before sunset, because if I decide to go fishing, you normally catch a lot of fish right then and there. So yeah, I'm going to go with that time because that's the only thing I can think of. So I guess I'm losing this round, but yeah.
Yeah, Lisa and I will keep score on this. And that was definitely a half point. For me, it would be 5:30 in the morning, from 5:30 to 6:30, which is it's the perfect start to the day. My husband will bring in coffee in bed. We will sit and relax and we read Charles Spurgeon, and it's just the nicest slow start to the day. And then by the time it's actually you know what? I'm shooting a rubber band at your face, John, right now. If you're only listening and not watching this video, Mr. Herzog is making faces at my brilliant start to the morning. He doesn't read. Anyway, I love starting the day slow like that. I'm not someone that likes springing out of bed.
Really? Because you beat me up in the morning and I'm 2 hours ahead of you. So
yeah, but I allow myself the time. I don't spring out of bed. You know what I mean? I wake up slow. I read.
Oh man, I get up and go. It's time.
At 10 a.m. Yeah. Moving on.
I plead the fifth.
Would you do a juice fast?
Yeah, why not?
Oh, no. God, no. That's torture. That should be a form of punishment. You know, where you see all the isolation and waterboarding and the craziness that happens in the military. It should be juice fast for you. That is just misery to me.
I totally agree.
I don't know any juice that tastes good that isn't terrible for you. All the juice that actually tastes good is not good for you. The spirulina and kale and spinach and cauliflower in one is just no.
That's wrong.
Well, but see, I would be okay with it because it sounds like it's pretty natural. Whereas Barbara's played a nasty trick on me while she was here in Austin. She told me to, what was that, magnesium or whatever you told me to go do?
It was not a nasty trick. And you know what? Lisa has been pregnant. She's going to understand this. It was magnesium sulfate because John had a problem. And I am a savant with laxatives. Like people that need help, I'm your person. Like I'm very good at dosing people.
That's good to know. You should put that on a business card.
I totally should. Yeah.
Yeah, but why
take
don't
2
you
X-Lax
tell
and
her
call me in the morning.
everything that you told me to do and take? I mean, this was not a fun process.
Can we preface this accurately though?
No.
John was whining. I flew all the way down to Texas, and there we are. We're at Alton's house, and he made nice dinner and everything. And John's like, "Oh my goodness, I can't think." And so he's moaning around the house. I'm like, "Okay, I do like if you want help, I can tell you what to go buy. Like this is an odd skill that I have." So yes, I said you ought to take the bottle of magnesium sulfate first, citrate. Nope, I said it wrong, didn't I? You know what I'm talking about? Magnesium citrate. There we go. And like they tell you when you're pregnant. I mean, like this is a thing. It's very safe. I said if it doesn't work within a few hours.
What are you talking about?
I think you could actually die if you drank magnesium sulfate.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely saying citrate. That's what I meant to say.
So unless she was trying to kill you, I mean.
Ultimately, she was, because she was even more in depth, because she not only told me to chug the whole bottle, which the bottle says don't do anything more than the 10 ounces, which the bottle was 10 ounces.
They don't mean it.
But then she was like, you need to take 4 of the X-Lax chocolate bars.
It had been, my son takes 4, not bars, give me a break, squares. They're like this big. And I'm going off of GI doctor's recommendation. And you know what? It was midnight and he was still like, nothing happened. I'm so miserable. So I'm like, all right, suck it up, do a suppository. That's your best thing. And you could say we got to know each other pretty well in Texas, but
oh man.
He seemed to feel a lot better by morning, apart from all the whining about how he got poisoned.
I didn't get any sleep because of you, Barb.
You would not have slept anyway. That was your problem the night before. You said you couldn't sleep. You were so miserable.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. So what's your answer to the question?
I've totally forgotten the question. Juice fast?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, gross. No, absolutely not.
I got to try it at least.
It doesn't work. I've done them. I lose like 5 pounds. And then a week later, when I eat real food, it's like, there's the 5 pounds back again.
Missed you.
So why all that misery? It's like short-term pleasure. Yeah. You like feel good for a little bit. And then, I don't know. That's been my experience.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's like virtue signaling for diets. It doesn't really do anything, but you feel like you're doing
this whole conversation has made us all appear more sexier.
Well, then we can just talk about juice fast. How about that? Okay. What toppings would you put on beans?
On beans?
Beans. I'm told this is a regional question. This came from somewhere.
Cheese makes everything better. I think if I put cheese on there, well, I don't know.
What kind of beans? If it's Bush's baked beans, you can't put cheese on that.
Let's say baked beans. Let's say Bush's baked beans, just to pick a bean.
I don't know if I put anything on there. I mean, I don't. They have the
bacon.
Sauce and
Bacon's better on everything, even on your wife at night. I mean, yes.
That's the other thing John tries to do on this show: either get sued, get us kicked off the internet, or have his wife call a divorce lawyer. Yeah, it's definitely
that's good to know.
Yeah. Well, see, this came up because my husband's family is roughly from Illinois, Chicago area, and they put mayonnaise on everything, including baked beans. And so I'm like, seriously? And you guys are all in different regions, so I was gonna ask, like, what do you put on? I agree, I eat them plain. It seems gross to me, but maybe onions. I might put onions on it.
Yeah, my wife would probably put onions on it. She puts onions on everything, and then it makes everything smell like BO. And I'm like, ugh.
Oh, that'd be interesting though. Like beans and onions on the other side. Like, where are you going after you have those beans and onions?
Hey, it works better than that X-Lax.
Well, you should have tried that then. Speaking of, which is worse, bad breath or body odor? Like, and I guess I'm assuming in someone next to you, not so much in yourself. Because
I've worked with some people that stunk up the office so bad that your eyes would water. But at the same time, I guess it depends. Do I have to kiss this person?
no, let's just assume like, let's say airplane, like that distance. Like you got to sit next to somebody.
Okay, I'm gonna go with bad mouth odor, because you can tell them to shut their mouth and get past it. But if their body odor sucks, what are you gonna do? Bust out some Axe and start spraying them down, or what?
Lisa, what
I'm
do you
gonna
think?
body odor too. See, my little guy, my son is 7, so we haven't hit like bad body odor yet. But I can remember coming out of a hotel in an elevator with like teenagers, like all teenage boys. And I remember like we stepped in and I was like, what is that stench? I'm like, next level, like must get, I know we have like 7 more levels till we get to our hotel room, but I'm like, exit, must get out now. And my husband's like, yeah, babe, that's the way like teenage boys smell. And I'm like, oh, I'm not ready. I'm not. It was bad. It was bad.
Oh, see, I was gonna say that I think bad breath is worse. There's something about people with bad breath talking to you makes me feel like I can't breathe. Like you know, like you're kind of doing the whole groping around for fresh air sort of thing. And I feel like at least with body odor, you could breathe with your hand. I don't know. There's something to me that is more tolerable about a smelly person than their smelly mouth.
Either way you look at it, though, it's probably the best birth control you can have, right?
With that one person, sure, yeah.
With all the people that smell like that, right? No, but we actually, I had to have a conversation. So because I do HR, it was put on me one time because we had somebody in our office that smelled so bad, like so bad we were hiding air fresheners all throughout the office to try to overcome that stench. So I had to have that conversation with this person, and that was awkward and it didn't correct. So then I got to put it on the owner to go figure out how he wanted to handle it. So gotta love it.
I kind of want to hear what that conversation sounded like. HR John is very entertaining to me.
No. I'm going to plead the fifth on that one for sure.
Well, that's the scary part, right? Is I think a lot of people don't know they have BO. Like you can smell it from or bad breath or any of that. Like I think people are so sometimes unaware that I could see that being a really hard conversation.
Well, but that person said that they showered constantly, and I don't.
That's like natural deodorant. Everyone that tells me they use natural deodorant, I'm like, but you stink. So it doesn't work. I don't know if it works.
Oh,
So did they not believe you, or were you a little too subtle?
me?
Like they did. Yeah, I mean, you're HR John, and you have to sit down so and so, and
No, I was pretty. I was bad. I was pretty blunt on that one.
okay.
But if you want to hire me in the future, I will be very professional.
We'll just leave car air.
That's the old me. I've evolved.
Yeah, last week is so just don't worry about that guy.
All right. I think we're on our last question. Does that sound right, John? I didn't actually
Sure.
pick those.
I'm still winning. It doesn't matter. So
Sure. Okay. The worst pet you've ever had?
Oh man, I would honestly say my dog right now. Sorry to cut you off, Lisa, but the dog we have right now, she is annoying. Like she barks and you hit her and she keeps barking, and yeah, and she's just so stupid. And she pees on everybody. She like gets so excited. She goes outside, you lean over to pet her and she pees. Great.
Okay. Lisa?
Man, I'm just like letting that one like just pee on everyone. That's just like I'm like I need a second to download that for a second. I'm having pictures.
It's R. Kelly, but in a wiener format. Dachshund, sorry.
Aw. I had a pet ferret growing up as a kid named Pookie. You know those like banking questions that say like what was the name of your first pet? I'm like Pookie. I'm like so proud to put that in, right? But this is an albino ferret. and it would bite everyone and everything. And I remember my mom used to let it out in the morning, and that was like my alarm clock. So it would run upstairs, it would crawl under the covers, and it would bite my feet.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's like a form of child abuse, I think. That is how I woke up as a kid to get ready for school. And I remember I used to wear gloves, like winter gloves, to pick it up because I'd want to hold it, but it would bite me. And then when you read about ferrets, it's like they have locking jaws. And so I think as a kid, I had this picture of this ferret was like a T-Rex. And it was like this thing like locked its jaw on me. Yeah, like I was done. So I was so afraid of this thing. I wore gloves to pick it up. It bit me in the feet, and it was bad. And then there was a spot in our house, like an old house that I grew up in, and it was joined with the neighbor. It was like called like a half a double. And it would go in under our kitchen cabinets, and we would get calls from the neighbor like, hey, your ferret's in our basement. You should like come back over and like pick it up. So the thing would just like go missing and in other people's houses.
Oh
It was
my
crazy.
goodness. Wow.
That's crazy.
I
God
know.
bless Pookie up there.
I was gonna ask what happened to Pookie.
I think Pookie ate like something, like it was like, oh, Pookie's not feeling good.
it was that
like,
toenail she bit off of you.
Like, yeah, it's like Pookie ate something under there, some chemical or something, and died kind of suddenly. And my parents were like, well, that's the circle of life. Like, I didn't know any better. I was like, oh.
We don't take angry ferrets to vets. That's
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah. Well, I was trying to think what my worst one would be, because I have a few kind of horror stories with animals, but I think actually the worst was self-inflicted. So Lisa is Canadian, adopted Canadian, right? Married into. And we lived for almost a year up near the Canadian border in Washington. And we lived on a pear orchard that had a lot of mice. It was a problem in this old house, mice everywhere. And so I learned that you can actually order feral cats and they'll be delivered to your doorstep, right? And the thing is, you don't adopt feral cats, you rehouse them. Okay, because they don't really so much take on families, but they can adapt to their location. So when you are trying to rehouse a feral cat, I learned you're supposed to leave them in their crate for like 3 weeks. Okay, like you don't let them out, which sounds like abuse, but it's how you get them to stay, I guess. Well, we had a lot of mice, and so I called the gal, and she's like, at the moment, I have 13. I said, I'll take them. And so she brought 13 feral cats to my garage, and we left them in their crates, which was the worst smelling 3 weeks I have ever. Just like, it was really gross. Then you feed them and you change the litter and everything. And generally they're pretty hostile because they're feral cats. The day that we let them out, I think there was one that hid in the garage. There was one that stuck around trying to be a pet. There was one that went out and killed about 6 mice in a row and left them on my doorstep, like half-eaten mice. Like, I've paid my hotel bill and I'm off. And the rest of them scattered off into the orchard, and I never saw them again.
So don't get cats, just get mouse traps.
Well, we
Or
did the
BB gun.
mousetrap. Yeah, we've been there, done that. No, the cats were very effective though. The one that left all the carcasses, paws just like Schwartz kitty, just big old paws for killing things. I'm like, that is the kind of cat I want hanging around. I think actually the smell of cat probably did more for the mice than the actual cats.
Or you can get that poison that the ferret ate.
That's right.
Toenails.
Do it. Toenails. That's probably right.
Man.
Oh, did you name you didn't name the cats? Like you weren't getting attached. You were just
Of course,
like,
we named them.
Oh, you did name them.
I have kids. We named them all. Like,
which one stayed? Do you remember? What was Killer Cat's name? Like Killer Mice Killer.
Oh, the killer cat actually didn't last very long, but I'm pretty sure his name was Basil. And the cat that actually stayed was Goldie, who was the most neurotic animal I've ever seen. Like, she was willing to be friendly, but in a very aggressive way. Like, purr, purr, chomp, 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 all up and down your shin. Like, she was just one of those cats that you kind of like, I love the kitty, stay back from the kitty. You know what I mean? Like, she was Anyway, she laughed.
Bipolar kitty. Like you didn't know what side of kitty you were going to get.
Exactly.
Got it.
All right, guys. Well, that was our Think Fast segment. Make sure you catch our normal podcasts every Monday at 6 a.m. And then, of course, most of these extras air Thursday at 6 a.m., but we throw one in there every once in a while just for fun. So, Lisa, thanks for showing up. I'm sorry that Barb beat you on the other show that you were on, but I guess we have a three-way tie. Is that what we ended up with?
I think Lisa just gets to win this one. I think she was more charming than either of us put together. So
nice. Because she's Canadian. I get it.
Ish. Yeah.
I'm dual citizen. I got two. Canadian and American. Oh man, thank you for having me. This is amazing. This is so fun.
Awesome.
Thanks, Lisa.
All right, guys. We will see y'all next time. And everyone, say bye.
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 This has been another episode of the Deciding Factor Extra, giving you food for thought on real-life issues. Be sure to click, like, and subscribe to this podcast, as well as all your big social media outlets, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Don't forget to check out our website, thedecidingfactorpodcast.com, and give us comments and feedback. Until next time, stay safe and keep an open mind.